What happens when a bunch of YouTubers who have smaller channels come onto my channel and talk about their purpose for making videos about ham radio? We need more content creators just like these guys. Take a look.
Shut up and sit down.
Good evening, Ham Radio 2.0. My name's Jason. I'm KC5HWB. On this channel, we do reviews, news, and how-tos. Many things that are new in amateur radio. And you know what? One of the things I really enjoy doing is talking to other YouTubers, other video creators, other content creators about ham radio, getting them to come on the channel. The YouTubers Bunch was born from several of the channels that have been around for several years after we all met up at Dayton Hamvention of 2019. And we kind of started this thing where we record videos, and I've got a whole playlist that I can post right there. You can link to that, and we talk about all kinds of good stuff. But you know what? Today, I wanted to bring on some newer channels. Now, I don't want to call them smaller channels, but that's what they are. I contacted 8 or 10 folks who had channels that were sub 1,000 subscriptions. So all of these channels, at the time of this recording, they have under 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. They're putting up content. They're putting up new videos. And all of the videos, I haven't watched all of the videos from all of the channels, but I've watched some of the videos from all the channels. And the content I've seen has been pretty darn good. So as we've said on the YouTubers Bunch in the past, and a couple of the other channels you might watch have said this, we need more content creators for ham radio on YouTube, because there's a lot about ham radio that people don't know about, and I wanted to get some different perspectives from folks who haven't been on the channel before. So take a look at this recording, check the YouTube description below for links to all of these channels, and I hope you enjoy this episode. But I just wanted to get all of you on here to talk about your channels tonight. This is going to be recorded, and like I said, I'll edit it later and post it on the channel. And in that post, for everybody watching, when this video premieres, the links to everyone's channel will be in the YouTube description below. So you'll be able to click on everyone's channel, and I ask that you go out there, check out their channel, subscribe to everybody so that we can get some more information and larger channel growth. And just people love seeing their channels grow, and it makes them motivated to make more videos. So it's all a good thing. It's kind of a cyclical effect out there. So on in the order of my screen, I'm going to welcome Brett, K5YVY, amateur radio station. That's the name of your channel right there. We've got Rhea, Into RJ, and Frank, KG5AHJ, Tank Radio is the name of his channel. Don Izzo, Smoke Signals RF, and then that's the name of your channel. You got a couple videos up. So you might be the smallest channel here, Don. That's not a dig, but you know, it's kind of cool. It's going to be kind of cool to see where you go from here. Yeah. We got Aaron with North Country Ham, and of course Charlie, Red Summit RF. So thank you to all of you for joining us tonight. Once again, I'm just going to give you about 5 to 8 minutes each. Actually, you might be able to go for like 10 minutes. I was expecting about 2 more people, and they didn't show up, and that's okay. But that gives maybe each of you an extra couple minutes to talk about your channel. So I'm just going to go in order of my screen. And Brett, that's you first. So please, I want all of you to answer the question: why do you want to make YouTube videos about ham radio? What's your inspiration? How'd you get the idea? What kind of drives you? And as I said in the email that I sent to you guys, there is no wrong answer to this question. It's just a way to get to know what kind of videos the viewer can expect to see on your channel. So, Brett, welcome to the to recording tonight, and please, the floor is yours.
All right. Commonly on the radio, I'm known as Joe, and
Joe.
It's just really short, and that's what a lot of people will know me by in the radio world.
Okay.
It really helps in the casual contest and keep the flow instead of trying to spell out Brett, and then the log comes up, says Joseph, and they think they got the wrong call sign. But anyway,
okay.
So that's the explanation on that. But at my channel, we just kind of started getting serious about it. We're having some time off from work, like a lot of people. Kind of dabbled in it over the past couple of years, but nothing just really flowing on a time schedule or anything. But we try to get on there and get live call some CQ, and we've got some great folks that show up in the chat every time, and we'll just carry on the conversation back and forth with each other through the live YouTube chat, and also sometimes we can actually hear each other on the radio. So what's cool about that is, the other station gets to hear what they sound like at my station. And I remember coming across somebody live streaming before, and I thought that was just really cool. That was before you could go and just log on to a web SDR somewhere and listen to yourself. But so I just thought that was the neatest thing. And besides making friendships on air and through YouTube chat and connecting with other YouTubers and just getting to know other folks, it's also a way for me to share when I tinker with something, when I'm putting together something. I like to try to make antennas and different things. It either works or it don't, or it goes up in smoke. Either way, it's kind of fun. And I guess the other thing is I work about 15 years in the public safety part of the job. And they always tell us find friends outside of the job. And it's true, because all you talk about is your job there. So YouTube gives me a way to talk about a lot of different subjects and just kind of leave what's out there behind and carry on conversations with other people, different subjects. So mental release, I guess.
Right. Okay. Cool, man. Well, thank you very much for being here tonight. I know most of your stuff is live streams. Have you ever done a recorded video?
I put up a couple of little recorded videos that I actually just done off my iPhone. I haven't got all my equipment for my computer yet, like I want to do it, to do some video editing and stuff. But I do plan on doing more recorded content as it grows and I add this and that to the channel.
Okay, cool. Well, great, man. Thanks a lot for being here. Yeah, K5VY. I keep saying want to say VYV, but it's YVY. It looks strange. The fonts that Zoom uses, it looks weird. K5YVY Amateur Radio Station is the name of the YouTube channel. Some cool live streams with. You're usually doing single sideband phone, right?
Yeah, most of the time it's that, and I've got a screen just in case HF isn't working out. You may hear me talking with locals on 2 meter. So you never know.
There you go. Okay, good deal. Well, thanks for being here tonight, man. It's great to have you.
Thank you.
Okay, let's go to Rhea into RJ. Good evening. Thanks for joining us, Rhea. And you're the ARRL division manager for which division is it? Hudson?
Yeah. Hi. Good evening. Yeah, I'm the division director for the Hudson division.
Hudson. Okay. Cool.
In which is basically the New York City metro area.
Gotcha.
But in the states of New York and New Jersey. So, well, my story, it's kind of a weird mix of things. So first of all, I actually started streaming on YouTube initially when I got my Flex Radio. Mm-hmm. So my Flex Radio, I began to stream when I was on the air because of a friend of mine, Rob Fissel. I forgot his new call sign, but he was K2RWF that time. He kind of disappeared off the face of the earth. So I got involved in streaming my radio, and I just began streaming my radio, and people got interested. Well, I kind of forgot about it for a while. I have a background in media. I worked at a media company, a large one, for about a decade, doing all sorts of professional stuff. So that's how I kind of like have the knowledge of video and such. Well, fast forward to the pandemic and whatever, in 2020, my church of all places, they announced their closure, and they said, do we have any members who could put a watch bill on YouTube or help us live stream the services? And I'm like, oh yeah, I could do that. So I kind of picked that up again. And I did the whole thing. I rolled it out for them. And I got back into the groove of making videos. The other thing that I got into was I noticed a lot of hams on these social media groups on Facebook. They were kind of like, oh, read the manual. You should have known that in the exam. Go away, you loser. Okay. So I began to say, you know what, let me answer some of these questions. And then what I began doing is I began taking questions that I answered and making them into videos because it was a lot of fun to do so. So those actually became a little popular. And here I am. So, you know, it just grows and grows. And I do tech topics. I do mostly things to, you know, help people along both beginner and advanced level, where people could, you know, understand a radio hobby a little more and make it a little more friendly and welcoming place. So that's my channel.
Cool. So I do a lot of research on how to build a YouTube channel, how to grow a YouTube channel, and I follow a couple of guys, and I've bought some courses and whatnot. And one of the guys I follow says some of the best ways to grow a YouTube channel, and maybe that's your focus and maybe it's not, but answering specific questions is 65%. They say, a guesstimated 65% of people go to YouTube to answer a question. They're like, how do you change the spark plugs in this vehicle? How do you get drivers to install for this device on a computer? So lots of people are going to YouTube for ham radio questions about various topics and about various subjects inside of ham radio. And I've found that some of those videos that I do, that's exactly what people are looking for. Those tend to get more views, more watch time, and more comments, more people coming along and saying either thank you or, hey, that's good, but I wanted to know how to do it this way, or can you talk more about this topic or something like that? And it gives you more ideas for videos. So that's really good that you're doing that. I think that's going to work well for you.
Yeah, thank you. And you know, one more thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
Ham radio crash course. I watch it. This kind of like kicked me into gear, where Josh put out a video that said ham radio needs more content creators. And
right.
Like, hey, that's me. So,
That's right. Yeah. And I talked to him about that after he put that out. And I'm like, dude, I've been kind of thinking about the same thing for a while. And, you know, he and I talked about some stuff on the back end. And that's one reason that I wanted to do this tonight for you guys who have newer channels. I don't like to call them smaller channels. I like to call them newer channels. So really appreciate you being here tonight, Rhea. Thanks for the info.
Thank you.
All right, Frank, don't make me regret this, but I'm going to let you talk next.
Welcome to Tank Radio. This is my show now. I am KG5HJ, and I have a channel called Tank Radio. I do, I almost say to-dos, how-tos, and other things, but that's coming off to someone else over there in YouTube land.
Whatever.
I want to stick towards more of electronics and devices in YouTube, satellite communications. I'm trying to produce the next video for satellites coming up in a series of videos. It's video number 2. I'm trying to get dropped Monday. Almost done. One more segment I need, and Raspberry Pi stuff. I want to do builds. I want to do more electronics, SDRs. Trying to remember everything I had on my intro video, that the welcome video I have on my page, but stuff around there that stuff interests me. Arden, I want to do some Arden stuff. Radio reviews are great. Jason, you knocking those out of the park. I love them. I have no interest in doing those videos. Just
that is okay.
Up a box.
Yeah, no, that is okay. That is okay. There's nothing wrong with that. That's great. I know that we're gonna have to get you to draw another Doppler effect with a tank instead of a train this time. But I know that was a popular one for you.
I have an idea for the next. I'm going to probably call those deep dives, where I want to take a concept and break it down to the most basic levels, so I can explain what is happening with that concept. So I did in the previous video Doppler effect and explain how Doppler effect happens as a train's driving by, and how the sound waves are stacking up, and when it leaves, the sound waves are getting longer, and that's what's happening in the Doppler effect, and that's what you need to take account for satellites going across the sky. I did not have to do a lot of research on that one. I knew a lot of it, and if you can't tell, that subject still gets me excited. So I just need to find another subject on that so I could do a deep dive into it. But I think that should be a playlist or a series of videos I do. It's just deep dives and me drawing terrible things on, not me drawing terrible things, me being a terrible drawer.
Yes.
On MS Paint and other tools that people can do great things. That I see you laughing, Don. At least you don't have a cigar to drop this time. But yes, that is what I want tank radio to be. And I don't think there's anything other to sum it up or my personality as I'm a tank.
Okay. That's good. Yeah, and the whole intro thing, that's been funny. A lot of the times on the Monday Night Ham radio stuff, people come along, they're like, "Hey, all these were good, but Frank's was definitely the funniest one." So, so you've got that going for you. Thanks, man. Thanks for being here. And for those who don't know, Frank's usually with me on my Sunday live stream, so that's kind of how he got started. And he came to me one time. He's like, "I'm gonna record a video about this." I'm like, "Go for it, man. Do it."
A lot of your little trips too. I'm behind the camera. Most of those pictures people don't know.
Yeah, that's true.
Of on their old picture set,
Mm-hmm.
I had a hand in. I was behind the scene, and that was my first intro video. Was clowning on that. I've always been around. You just didn't know it.
That's right. That's true. That's true. Cool, man. Thanks for being here tonight. I appreciate it.
No problem, man.
All right, Don Izzo, Smoke Signals RF. I really love the name, and he's got Don's been a regular chat member, I guess is what you would call it. He's been a regular in most of us who live stream or do premieres on Monday, Thursday night ham radio. Don's 98% of the time in the chat, and I guess he's decided he wants to dive into the YouTube realm of actually creating videos now, which I'm excited about. I'm excited to see what you have to say, Don. So please tell us about your channel.
Smoke Signals RF, and again, it started. I'm the old guy here, and I'm, but still, young at heart, and forever be 25, 30. Although sometimes it doesn't feel like that in the morning, but it's again, COVID once again. This is I am blessed along with many hams as president of a local club too. I've told her. Many of the emails that go out to the distribution list, I'll tell our members, listen, we understand what's going on in COVID, but you're part of a hobby that really has not been affected, except for the propagation or depending on what band and mode you're doing. So to get on the radio, get on the air has been, even prior to COVID, has been our battle cry. And it's a struggle sometimes to inspire people. So like Rhea and many others have said, again, just, one night, just really and I'm a guy who really was not following YouTube. And all of a sudden, I find Cal and I end up buying his antenna. And then I find, Josh and Jason. Next, it's leading into the TO show, and I'm finding out about this guy called the Smoking Ape. and then finding out more guys in the chat are also named Don. So we kind of just called it the Don Army.
Right.
And then I remember, I think Jason and Kyle and Tio one time, you guys separately got an email from me saying, hey, why don't you guys try this, or why don't you do this? So I was kind of like the audience member, just throwing an idea back at you guys and saying, hey, listen, if you want my opinion, try it, try something. And then all of a sudden everyone started saying, hey, Don, why don't you put out a video? And I'm not sure, like, between Joe and everyone else here, Aaron, and it's like, you want me to start doing this, and do I want to do it, and do I have the time? I'm not retired yet. I'm still in the public safety world. So, but it's still no excuse, because I kind of want to do it because, like everyone here, I want to give a different perspective to, there may be other people, and some of the comments that I've received this following week since putting out my first video, there are more people like me out there where they're not the technical guy. They don't want to solder. They don't want to kit build, but they still want to watch it. It's still intriguing to watch. It's fun to watch, but it's just not them. They're not the appliance operator. So they're sort of like in the middle, and they don't know what to do. They don't know what to buy. A lot of ads out there for all this ad marketing of what's the best antenna, what's the best radio. And that's no reflection on the YouTube stuff. That's from the marketers from various companies who says this is the best antenna. Well, that's up for debate as we know. So I just want to bring different things from my perspective. I really get inspired by watching everybody. Charlie does it one way. Charlie being a big soda guy, and I'm a big POTA guy. So the soda people really are like my heroes. But then all of a sudden, when Tech Pepper's doing it, he's doing a mountain, and then you got Adam doing a mountain, then you got Charlie doing a mountain. They're all doing the mountain, but they're doing it 3 different ways.
Yeah.
And so it sort of taught me where this I don't want to say a fear, but like I don't want to copy. I don't want to do the same show like everybody else has.
Mm-hmm.
I want to find my niche. I want to find something that some people are going to find interesting, but still bring this a similar content, but maybe from a different viewpoint. Because as they say, when you look at something, it's 360 degrees around.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm gonna throw a twist in there. As you guys know, I'm an avid cigar smoker.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I like barbecue. I like seafood down here. You know, here on the coast. That's right, Frank. You know, we got some great seafood here. You know, I love Italian food. Coming. You know, there's a lot of great. You know, coming from an Italian Polish background, there's a lot of great foods in there. And we like to eat now, you know. And I loved what the ARRL did, you know, many years ago, saying, "Hey, field day, you know, put a theme to your field day, you know, with food and snacks, and that will also attract your members." And they were right, because we did that one time, and I remember we had close to like 200 people come to our field day. You know, normally when you get, you know, 30, 40, 50, you know, when you have almost 200 people and you're wondering if you have enough barbecue chicken to feed everybody.
What was the theme, by the way?
And you're sending some guy to the local store to go get more.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and that's a good feeling. It really is. And you make it work. You make it work. So my channel is going to be a lot about everything, but I do want to do the live shows. I'm thinking of doing something once a week.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I keep a book here of ideas. I break it into categories.
Mm-hmm.
And the once a week thing is I don't know if my personal schedule is going to allow it, or I also don't want to I don't want to flood the YouTube group either
Mm-hmm.
with the once a weekers.
Mm-hmm.
Because right now you got the TO show on Mondays, whether it's a wrap up or the interview. You got Ape and
Steve.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We do happy hour.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
We got trivia.
Mm-hmm.
But there may be something for like 4 or 5 of us just to get on, and
Yeah.
a new guy show.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
A new person show.
Yeah,
You know.
that's good. That's
So.
good. You know, I found that now this is my opinion here. I found that live streaming is fun, but I found it wasn't as lucrative. And when I say lucrative, what I mean is there's not as many people watching, which means the audience interaction is not there until you actually have built up an audience. And I'm talking about several thousand people, maybe even close to 10,000 people. So I never really live streamed for my first until I had like 12 or 13,000 people. And then I did it very sporadically and I wasn't very good at it. So unless you want to start your channel just to live stream, and that's just what you want to do, which there's nothing wrong with that. You know, I wouldn't even worry about that for the first little while. Kind of find your groove and find what you want to talk about, and tell Steve to bring you onto his show, because if he'll allow Smoke and Ape on there, he'll allow anybody on there, right? So I mean, seriously,
You bring him coffee.
Right? Yeah. Just send him
coffee.
Right? Yeah, send him a big box of coffee. He'll bring you on there. So cool, man. When I'm looking forward to seeing what you have to say, Don, and I'm excited to see your channel. And
Thank you.
And I know that you bring a really good. I think you're like the guy who's even more into POTA than Mike is. So you bring a really good viewpoint to the hobby, and I really enjoy what you've done so far.
Thank you.
So thanks for being here tonight. All right. It looks like Kat stepped away for a second. Let's say, Aaron, let's go to you, and we'll get you at North Country Ham. Now, tell you've told me one time, but tell the audience again. North Country, what does that mean exactly? And then tell us about your channel.
Well, it's just kind of a nickname for the local area up here.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody kind of refers it to as the North Country. You know, we're up in northern New York, up in the between Lake Ontario, the Adirondacks, St. Lawrence River. You know, we're
okay
here, and some might even call God's country. So, of course, I'm out here with a few inches of snow and about 30 degrees right now, but
that's not God's country then.
Well, like I said in the one last happy hour, you know, we get 9 months of winter and 3 months of bad skiing. So
nice.
But you know, channels, I call it North Country Ham just because, you know, kind of fits for the area. And you know, along with myself. I guess I'm just a country bumpkin. But I just wanted to, you know, and I kind of, I'll steal this from my about page on the channel. I put right in there, I wanted to do this to kind of push myself outside my own comfort zone, to keep pushing into more of the hobby, finding more things, and just share the journey with everybody of anything and everything I'm doing, you know, and maybe some new hams or people looking for other areas of the hobby might find something else that interests them. I mean, I plan on kind of hitting anything and everything ham radio, from all the gear I've got, things I've built or made, you know, to even some of my other DIY projects that I like to do. And, you know, I threw out there, you know, I do my own beer making, and, you know, I built that big smoke pit in the backyard. I can put a whole pig in, but might even do some of that when I do some cooks. I know my radio club really appreciated the 25 pounds of pulled pork I did in August for the QSO party. That went over really well.
Nice.
And I, you know, if it wasn't for what's going on, I'd probably almost think if people are traveling, let's stop by where I'm at and I'll start a fire. So, but you know, it's just, I kind of figured, you know, I share my journey, and maybe others will pick up things that I picked up by doing a lot of digging through and researching myself. And you know, we'll just kind of go from there. I know my first live stream failed miserably. Right as about 3 minutes to start time, my whole computer system crashed, and it took about 20 minutes to get it back up, and I was flustered. But I went on anyways and did it.
Welcome to live streaming. If that's never happened to you, then you haven't live streamed correctly yet.
It happened to me.
Yeah.
I will say, I think I like doing the live streams when I'm doing the studying that I've done. Do right out of the book, doing the amateur extra. I really like that. That feels comfortable doing that, but there's not a lot of viewers right now, so I'm just kind of talking to myself, but trying to interact as though I'm not the only one there.
Yeah, good, cool. Do you have a schedule for live streaming? Do you have a certain day and time you go live?
I've been trying to do Sunday night. It seems to work best for my schedule, but I'm trying to. I always go through and I check everybody's YouTube channel to make sure somebody else isn't already scheduled, because I don't want to step on anybody or.
Sure.
And I've been shooting. It's been right around probably 6:30, 7 o'clock Eastern time.
Okay.
Seems to be in between everybody else. So
okay,
that's kind of. I mean, it's not been every Sunday, but I try to post it a few days ahead in advance, at least if I'm going to.
Cool. Yeah, that's the way to do it. All right, man. Well, hey, thanks for coming on there, and excited to see your channel grow. And I'm sure that if you have any live streaming questions, let me know. But yeah, that's a challenge in and of itself. People say that, oh, if you live stream, then you don't have to edit after the fact. Yeah, but it's a lot more nerve-wracking to live stream than it is, because if you record something, you're like, well, I screwed that up, but I can edit that part out. So, and yeah, the computer never wants to cooperate when you're live streaming for some reason.
No.
So that's all good. Well, thanks for being here tonight, man. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, Charlie, you're up. Kat keeps turning her camera off, so I'll get to her in a second. But Charlie, Red Summit RF, how are you doing tonight, man?
Hey, Jason. Yeah, I'm doing good. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it. You know, I've actually been on everybody's channel, and you guys all have great stuff. I've visited everybody's channel at least a couple of times and watched some of your videos and commented. So it's you guys got some good stuff going on. And hey, I appreciate, Jason. I appreciate what you were talking about with the kind of the purpose behind some of the YouTube stuff, because that's kind of how I got involved. You know, I got involved in Summits on the Air back in 2014, and I don't know about maybe a year into it, I'm like, gosh, look at all this stuff that I'm doing, all these views and this beauty that I just need to share it with somebody. And so I reached out to somebody that was on YouTube at the time, and I said, hey, how do you do all this recording stuff? And they kind of discouraged me, and they said, you know what, it's this and that, and it's so hard. And so I kind of said, oh, I guess that's not for me then. But then I saw KG6 HQD's, some of his videos, and I'm like, all right, I'll reach out to him and see. And he kind of helped me, guided me along a little bit. So, you know, the purpose for me was, first of all, to just kind of share some of the things and experiences that I've had. You know, but in addition to that, people were asking me, hey, how do you go up this peak? What are some tips that you have? What direction do you go? What, you know, all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, I need to kind of share some of this information, both from a a person who goes before another person, from that perspective, but also just kind of to show some of the views. And so then I started back about a little over a year ago, September, just with a cell phone. And I was up on top of Aztec Peak, and we were doing this big 10-point madness event. And so I thought I'd record it, and that was my first video. And like many people, when you go back now and look at that video, yeah, I've improved a little bit, I think, since then.
Yeah.
But I think the reason that I created this channel, I would have to say, is primarily I just feel like there's a lot of excitement about Summits on the Air, and more importantly about portable ops in general. POTA or whatever it is, even just some of these field day events, and it's something I love. And there's just so many people that would always approach me and ask me about it, and so I thought, why not share it in a venue that I see as one that's emerging. Elmer's, I kind of look at it as Elmer's. They used to be there hanging out at the club, lurking around, taking people under their arm. These days, it's YouTube, I think. People who are searching, like you said, they search for a specific topic. And so that's kind of why I wanted to do this YouTube thing. So my channel is primarily about Summits on the Air right now. I'm starting to branch out a little bit because I wanted it to be more of a portable ops channel. And so, I started though with Summits on the Air. I'm trying to build basically 3 playlists right now. One is my Summits on the Air activations. And then another one is actually a live stream I do every other week called the All Portable Discussion Zone, where I have guests on who are kind of in the know about portable ops. And then the other one is I just started is called Ham Hacks, and that's just kind of a 4 or 5 minute tips on certain things. And then the fourth one is just the workbench stuff, building antennas and projects and kit building and stuff like that. And I actually put out a survey and kind of asked the guys on Twitter what they thought was what their favorite one was, and the poll is showing that it's Summits on the Air right now, but they a lot of comments below saying I like them all, they're all good. And it just kind of depends on who you are, I guess. So that's kind of my channel. I'm trying to expand it a little bit. I will stay loyal to the SOTA thing, but I really want to expand it out to just more of a portable ops than SOTA, because SOTA's too narrow a little bit. So
yeah, I guess it can be. I for me, it's almost like I want you to do more SOTA, because I don't have the opportunity to do that out here. So there's not any summit there. I mean, there are summits out here, but it's like, oh, hey, there's that one. It's 850 feet above sea level, and there's that one over there that's 920 feet above sea level. So I mean, I'm like, yeah, sure, that's a summit on the SOTA website, but it's kind of not the same thing. But I watch your videos and Adam's videos, and I'm just like, man, I gotta go to freaking California, and just I don't want to live out there. I mean, for obvious reasons, but I would love to go out there and spend a week or two and just climb up a bunch of hills and mountaintops, because it's just absolutely gorgeous. The place you guys go out there.
Yeah.
But you're in
Arizona.
You're in Arizona. That's right. Adam's in California. You're in Arizona, but still, Arizona. Every time I think of Arizona, and I think, well, it's all flat out there, but it's not. So
not at all.
So
Nope.
I've been to Flagstaff and Shiprock. I've driven through those places.
Yeah.
So really,
I love Flagstaff. There's some easy 10-point peaks up there.
Yeah, really pretty country up there for sure. So, well, thanks for being here tonight, Charlie. Really appreciate your time in there. Yeah, you make some great videos, and yeah, if y'all haven't seen it, go check out Charlie's bee dance. That's kind of famous now. So, So, all right, Kat. You're on mute.
No, I'm on mute.
There you go. Hey, what's going on?
Nothing. Life has happened, and I had to move, and I moved into my dad's house, so I'm still in between boxes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I knew you were in the middle of changing some stuff around, so it's all good. But we're just talking and you haven't made videos for a while. But you want to get back to it, as I understand it. So why don't you just tell the audience about, kind of, and you don't have to share anything you don't want to, but just kind of tell what your plans are for making videos again.
I plan on starting back on videos. I've reached out, Steve from Gigaparks has reached out to me to help me out with some things. I haven't quite decided what direction I'm going in yet. It's still going to be the same thing of me, new ham, things like that. And just trying to get back into the groove of making videos. I was planning on at the end of this month putting a video out, but unfortunately, time frame and things, I don't know if it's going to happen. I still have a lot of moving parts in my personal life right now that I'm still trying to get settled out. So
okay, good. Well, hey, it's going to be cool to have you back on there. I actually talked to Steve the other day, and he mentioned that he was working with you. So so that's great. I definitely followed all the stuff you did before. You did some cool stuff with those contests, and I don't even remember which ones it were now. Maybe it was Field Day and one of the
the Alabama QSO party.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
and North Alabama and I think North Alabama QSO party.
Oh.
It was two of the QSO parties.
Okay.
I don't even.
Okay. Good. Good.
But I plan on studying for my general still, and I haven't had to put that on hiatus as well. So.
All in due time, I guess. Cool.
All in due time,
Okay.
unfortunately.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Cool. Well, thanks for joining us tonight. Appreciate your time. I know it's filled up these days, so which is true for everybody. But I know you've been having some difficulties, or well, just a bunch of stuff happening all at once, I guess. So
yes, a bunch of stuff all happened at once,
Yeah.
and I've been managing it very well, actually. Good. And it's not been the easiest one. Just so some people know, my oldest one is living with his dad now. The youngest one lives with me. So that's what the biggest change has been.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Well, thanks for sharing that. Appreciate it.
You're
cool.
welcome.
All right, guys. So, okay, I went back to the whole gallery view here. So everybody's back on camera. When each of you were talking, I've switched to individual views so that it records a little bit better that way with Zoom in my experience. So we actually got through that a little bit quicker than what I thought we would, which is good. I mean, the ultra long videos on YouTube don't do very well anyhow. So what does anyone else have anything to add? Anything they want to ask? Any types of tips or anything for the audience or someone else out there? Just 5 or 6 minutes of just free talk and talk about whatever you guys want to. Frank, I know you got something to say.
Well, here's a question for you.
Okay.
Jason, I'll pose a question for you. How involved in social media do you think you need to be in order to be successful on YouTube?
I think that you need to focus on one platform. Assuming that's YouTube, I think you need to focus your time on that. And if you have time to post on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and all that, then great. But if you don't, if I wouldn't sacrifice your YouTube time for a second outlet. With a chance. Go ahead, Ria.
Yeah. So I'll say this from my experience. I kind of have a decent social media following pre-YouTube because I am a Flex Radio Elmer, and so a lot of people think that I have a big social media following because I'm ARRL, but that's not true. I actually had that long before. So I was with Flex Radio. I used to go on, do the same thing. I used to go on and answer questions, and be friendly with people, and people began to follow me. So I think, and that has helped me because that helped me. I'm past 1K in like 3 months and, growing. So it's, my social media fans have really helped me along, and they've been sharing the videos and, subscribing themselves and bringing new people into the fold. So I think that's very helpful.
What platform are you talking about, Ria?
So I'm on Facebook, although Facebook is kind of like these days, I don't think Facebook is the how should I put it, the biggest social media platform a lot of people on. I'm on Facebook, I'm on Twitter, I'm on Instagram. And I would say a lot of my followers come from Facebook because I've been on Facebook since 2004.
Yeah.
But you kind of had that going before videos. So like you said,
right.
So yeah. So I guess it kind of depends on if you got something on social media that's already, blowing and going and you know you got a big following, you're real active, then great. But if you're going to start a Twitter account or an Instagram account that kind of follows your YouTube channel, which is also kind of new, I would focus more on YouTube. And yeah, promote it as much as you can on those other ones, absolutely. But I would focus more, get your video done, set yourself a schedule, once a week, twice a week, once a month, even upload a new video, go live once a month, whatever. And then once you're done with that, then do some social media if you have time. And if you don't, then that's okay too. But just figure out where you want to be and focus on that. That's my advice. Having a big social media presence on Facebook or Twitter prior to starting videos would be great. I didn't have that. So that would probably help you along quite a bit.
I have another question, Jason, if you don't mind.
Sure.
For you, and that is, how do you balance staying true to what your channel is about, and the comments, the audience, and what their wishes are? How do you balance that?
You know, I think, and the question I asked you guys tonight was, you know, why do you want to do YouTube? What's your channel focus and whatnot? And I've been, come this May, I will have been doing YouTube videos for 6 years. And that the answer to that question for me myself has changed 3 or 4 times over the last 6 years. I think I have, over the last year and a half, maybe a couple years, I have decided that my main focus on the channel is to talk about the stuff my audience wants. All those best of videos that the best handheld, best hotspot, and the $35 fee the FCC is doing, and a few others like that. Those all came from questions from viewers, either emails or comments in other videos or something like that. So I have tried to kind of shift my focus in that direction. But I guess to answer your question is, you know, you have to, once you start, I think as a new channel, you need to focus on whatever you want to do. And then you will kind of start to see an audience form, and that will kind of determine what direction you go as to what your audience is asking you. Because if you keep your audience happy, then they're coming back and they're telling their friends, and then that's kind of how your audience starts to grow. So if you're trying to build a channel, now I know a couple of YouTube guys, ham radio YouTube guys, that they're just like, hey man, I've just put up videos just because like, hey, I got an audience, great, but I just put up videos about whatever, and I just want to kind of document this or do this, and that's okay. But if you respond to your audience and try to focus on questions that they're asking, I think you're going to find your channel grows faster and a little bit more focused as well. And then you don't have people coming along asking you, like you, Charlie, you wouldn't have someone coming along and asking you for a review of the latest DMR radio.
Oh no.
But but you've got all this portable Austin soda stuff going on, and if that's what your audience is asking about, and then if they come along one day and say, hey, could you build a kit for doing this type of work, CW work or something like that, then you can kind of roll in that direction if you choose to. But I think responding to your audience is a good way to grow a channel, I guess, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, especially like you said, when you're starting out, you kind of have to have goals and take it in a direction and maybe listen to your audience a little bit. But then when it gets to be like what you right now, you can just totally, you have such a big audience, you can let it drive the direction a little bit.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And I do that some. It kind of depends on what I do. And ever since COVID started, I've been posting so much content. I kind of do a little bit of everything. But, you know, if I had my way, I would go out and do a summit, which again, I'd have to drive a long way to. I'd do a Parks on the Air activation 1 or 2 times a month. I'd go do some portable ops. I'd go do some camping, and I'd go do that stuff. And I don't have time to do that all the time, but I'm not really being asked for that type of thing either. But when I do some Parks on the Air stuff, I always get really good comments on it. So I'm like, I wish I should do more of this. So, but like I said in the beginning, there's such a wide range of niches inside of the ham radio niche, in my opinion, that you know, you can focus on 2 or 3 more, or 2 or 3 or 4 different things at the same time, and I think it still works well.
Can I just throw something in there?
Yeah, go ahead, Don.
You know, it's also personality. You know, even though we may have the smallest niche or the smallest partition on YouTube for ham radio, the people who I'm honored to be here tonight watching everybody, and I've watched everyone's stuff, the live stuff, your old stuff, Jason. I've gone back 4 years. I've watched your stuff. Mike too, MRD. I've gone back to see what you guys have done. Even most recently with Joe and Aaron, just kind of like watching what they're doing, and it's amazing because everybody is coming to the table, like I said, in a different perspective. I found it interesting when Jason, between you and Steve the other night, were talking about Dayton being canceled. You guys talked about the same topic, and I learned at your level you can do that because Steve put his perspective on it, and then you have yours. And what I'm leading up to is you both have you have two different personalities. There are other people. I mean, this is just no disrespect, but I watch them on YouTube, and they could be selling a car. It means nothing to me.
Right.
The show is boring.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, it's whether it's bad audio, bad lighting, bad camera angles, or just the person themselves maybe should be behind the scenes. And if I ever get that, then guess what I'll do? I'll pull up my channel and I'll go back behind the scenes. But I really, really think it's all about personality. And when you do make a mistake, we're not laughing at you. That's when I know you've got true friends, and you got a good show, and you're showing it real. It's fun. It's like when I made my first video, my wife was telling me you should save some of your first 5 cuts that you did that you threw away because those are great bloopers.
Yeah. I save all that
I
stuff.
didn't, but I'll probably in about another few more shows. I probably will. I'll just tuck them in a folder some way. But
Bloopers.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know anything about that.
Yeah, no, Frank doesn't have that folder. but it's really about the personality.
Yeah.
And once you find once people really see who you are being real, nothing fake, they're gonna gravitate to us. Just a matter of time.
Yeah, I think that's a good outlook for sure. Yeah, good deal. All right, I think I've got about probably 45 minutes worth of video here, and I'm going to record a short intro after I let you guys go. So I want to thank all of you for coming out tonight, and I'll get this edited and uploaded. How I do it, and I've said this on my channel before, I have a way to upload a video on YouTube, and then I share the link before I make it live. I share the link with my patrons and with my YouTube channel members, and they can watch it and make comments on it. It's kind of one of the perks they get for being one of my my members or patrons. But I can share that. I'll send the link to everybody on here as well, so you can watch it before it goes live, and provide feedback if you want to. And for you guys watching in the audience right now, again, all the channels that are represented here tonight will be linked below, and please go click on them. Please go subscribe to them and watch through some of the videos they have, and find out which one. You may not be interested in all the topics presented here, and that's okay. But there's a lot of different areas inside of amateur radio that are represented here tonight, and I think most people are going to find at least one or two that they're interested in. Okay, we're going to shut it down. Thank you for joining us tonight. Once again, everybody go subscribe to the channels at the links below, and let us know what you think in the comments, because we might do this again, and watch everybody's channel grow will be fun. So everybody wave goodbye. Bye, 73.
Bye, 73.